I'm the Spirit Keeper, and I give you a reason for every season. And today I'm at my local Home Depot for Halloween 2026. Alright, so here we are. I know not a lot of Home Depots are set up, but luckily this year my local was one of the first. And first I want to start off with the Parrot plant monster, which is one of my most anticipated ones for the season. I'm going to try and get a front view. I'm not gonna lie, this one is a bit smaller than I did expect for it to be in person, just probably because compared to the other 12-footers that they do have this year. But I think that just looks absolutely amazing. Let's try and get a close-up of that sculpt before moving on. It's being retailed for only $300, which is genuinely insane. There's the Parrot plant monster. Over here is actually one of my favorite pieces from them this year, which being the Gargoyle, being retailed for $129. Home Depot always has amazing prices. Definitely probably the best in the Halloween retail community. And moving over here, we have another one of the fan favorites for this year, with this being the Macabre Witch. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but okay.
Ain't no soul come round here.
This one's real loud.
Looking for trouble or trying to run from it. Which is it, dearie? I see things in the mist, spirits whispering, and your name floating on the wind. Ooh, they hungry and they coming for you. Maybe, just maybe I could help for a prize.
The phrases on that one are really long, which is great, and you can actually see the LEDs are still going. But this one is being retailed for $159, which I personally think is a great price, especially with that snake animation. And then over here, we can just get a glimpse of some of the tombstones they do have, but we can come back to those. Over here, we have the flying monkey coming from Wicked, being retailed for $199. I know that this one is definitely going to get a lot of attention. There you go, the flying monkey coming from Wicked, or the Wizard of Oz. I'm really shocked that this thing is actually being for Halloween. It's really shocking in my personal opinion, just because it's not something you'd expect to see for Halloween. Got some more tombstones, and you can take a look at this. These are some of the online props this year. And back there we have the Wishing Well, which is a nice set piece for this year. It's being retailed for $149. So there you go, you can see that. It does also have some red LEDs. Not sure how well you're going to see that, but here's one that I'm super excited to see. This one being the track spider for $249. There you go, the track spider. Let's get one more demo of that. Oh, might reset. All right, there we go. There you go. You can see the track mechanism down there. I know that the quality on this one is, let's take a listen. The blow mold plastic, I will say, feels pretty flimsy, which I know has been a running complaint, but it's still definitely a neat one. This is like kind of being replaced over the track skeleton that was supposed to release. Back there we have the stalking Scarecrow, which is actually jump scared. So
this crop is cursed, rooted in horror, filled with souls. You'll never leave the same. You're faster than the last one, but not fast enough when the roots take hold.
There you go, the stalking Scarecrow for a nice jump scare, and surprisingly, only being $159. I really like how this one looks in person. I'm not gonna lie, I was not a huge fan when we initially saw this at the manager meeting, but I feel like this one is definitely much better in person. And of course, we can't forget about the mummy for this year. You can see the LEDs going and everything. It is more of a static piece, however, it looks great in person. An absolutely phenomenal piece. You can see it compared to the 12-foot skeleton. They're both around that 12-foot mark, and it just overall looks great. Here's something that I'm very excited to see in person, with this being Sapling. This thing sold out in a minute last year, went the online launch, and this one's being retailed for $179. This is another great set piece or just static prop to go on your display, and I think the LEDs, yeah, there we go. They are actually turning on. You can see them. I know that this is a really hot item this year, and it's awesome to see it being in stores for 2026 because I know this is definitely going to sell out very fastly. Over here we have the brand new Evil Pixie, which is probably my favorite for 2026. It's turned down real low. Yeah, it's basically just not even. There we go. There we go, the Evil Pixie. I really love the blinking, as you can see right there. It looks amazing. You have the wing flap. Let's get another demo, and this one is being retailed for $199, which I think is a great price. There you go, the Evil Pixie. This is actually was initially a static piece, and it was like a part of the hang-in display, as you can see over there. Oh my God, that thing won't stop talking. Okay, over here we have John, the Last Cocktailologist, which is actually based off of a meme, and he actually has a Home Depot vest on that says John.
Tonight's feature, out-of-this-world herbs from our deathly garden to spruce up your cocktails. Nightshade and Venus flytrap. Better than your typical pumpkin spice martini. So grab a chair and let's see who has the best scary story.
This thing is just so like surreal to be seeing. Oh my, okay. This thing is so surreal to be seeing, and it's only $179. Like I said, the prices for Home Depot are always superb compared to other retailers. Lowe's. But Home Depot, always great. And then back there, we have the Pirate duo. Okay, so they have a very long activation, as you can see, but they are $199. And back there we have something that I was very excited to see, with that being the Dry Rot Dentist. And there's how it looks with the LEDs fully on. That one is also only $299, which is an absolutely amazing price for that. And finally, again, to this thing, it actually talks to you. This is the Rotwing Parrot, and this has been going off for the past several minutes, as you probably could have heard. Nah, I don't even know what to ask. Do you ever stop talking?
Even a blind bat would see that it's a no.
It's a no, it says. It is $179. And over here we have the zombie velociraptor. We did see something similar to this years prior, but as you can see it now for 2026. There you go, the zombie velociraptor for $299. I think that this one is also a great one. However, I will say I'm not a huge fan of the like metal poles that you can't see right there. However, I know that the design choice just had to be done for it to actually stay up. And over here we do have some tombstones that I will cover. This one is only $30. And over here we have the Guardian of the Gourds, which was actually from last year, but now it's going to be in stores once again.
I sense the presence of unsuspecting souls. Step closer and embrace the shadows that dwell within. Your fate is sealed, for you have trespassed into my domain.
There you have it. The Guardian of the Gourds being retailed for $129. Like I mentioned, this was released last year. However, it is coming back because it was a great seller. And over here, another one of my favorites for this year, we have the Soul Steel Reaper for $199.
Your heartbeat fades. Your soul begins to slip. I reach into the veil and rip it from your dying grip.
I will say the animation with the hand is very subtle in person, which is definitely not something that you would want to see. However, it's only $200 and it looks great overall. However, I just wanted to mention that the actual hand animation is very subtle IRL. Over here we have the 12-foot skeleton, which I believe that this is the app one, and no, it is not. However, they do have an app-controlled version for this year. It's not turned on for some reason, but it does have some LCD eyes. Before moving on, I figured I'd give a glimpse at all of the hanging skeletons, or whatever you like to call them, for this year. As you can see right there, all on the rack. And over here we have some of the new smaller pieces. First, starting off with Stitch, which they did a great job demonstrating how it can be used for Christmas and Halloween. There you go, Stitch for $199. If you're a big Disney fan, definitely a nice one. And over here we have Mohawk. Last year we got Stripe, so this is another neat one to see. There you go, Mohawk for $179. I wish he did a bit more. I feel like it is not a whole ton. The same thing that Gizmo did have last year. However, it's still a great one. Or, no, Stripe last year, sorry. Over here we have the Plague Rat. A very odd concept, and I'm not exactly sure what it even is. I don't even want to guess, but still a new edition for 2026. There you go, for $129. I feel like this is something you see over in this section. However, it's a prop, and I mean, okay. Over here we have some of the tombstones, and then we can take a look at the stock they do have at this location. We have some of the Flying Monkeys. We have the Soul Steel Reaper. We got some Stitches, Mohawk, the McCabery Witch. Once again, I'm sorry if I did butcher that name. You got the Pirate Duo. You got John, and then over here we have some of the Plague Rats, which is not a surprise. You got the Velociraptor, the Scarecrow, and they just put up everything today, so they have a ton still left in stock. We have that monstrosity, which we'll take a look at next. It is right here, the Baby Troll for $119. The audio isn't on, but it's not the greatest, and you can just see that face. I'm not gonna lie, this is really bad, which I typically don't say about props because they're either bad or decent, but this one is just none of the above. It's just terrible. So there's the Baby Troll, $119. Last year we got Tumble the Troll, and they really just, I don't even know. Tumble was really good. Over here we have the Till Death Duo, which is something that's really awesome for only $99.
Buried in my tomb, and I dug through the earth to find you, my love. You vowed to return to me. I always keep my promises. Not even death could stop me. Now we are together forever.
There you go. A very neat new addition, and then we do have some stock of them down here along with the Burlap Twins, Guardian of the Gourds. Speaking of the Burlap Twins, we do have them right up here also for $99.
You
I'm also going to say I'm not a big fan of them. However, they do go with the Sitter of Souls. I'm just going to be completely honest. I don't think that Home Depot is too great this year. I feel like they definitely took a toll compared to previous years. For example, last year. And you do also have some of the inflatables up there. However, you could have gotten a better look at the start, and we will give a better look in a little bit. Over here, we have 2 dry rot Dennises along with 2 of the 12-foot skeletons and the Stalk and Scarecrow, if I didn't already mention that. Over here, we have the Mummy, and excuse me, it is actually 11 feet instead of 12. However, it looks like very close to the size of the 12-foot skeleton. It's definitely very neat. Over here, we just have some stock of static pieces going along with some of the inflatables that you can see right over here. You can see some of them actually set up. The cat, Oogie Boogie, and Jack Skellington. And over here, we have some of the Scallon Saplings. Another one that I'm very tempted to get just for like a set or something. And honestly, the Gargoyle. Just an overall amazing piece for this year. I think that is definitely a step up from the one last year. However, it's still great. And you can see it over there. You have the Wishing Well, and then you do have the Perilous Plant Monster. You can see just the lighting. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, however, they still do have some stuff. And then some of the inflatables up top. And something else I'm always a huge fan of has to be the blow molds. And this year they have this all new owl on a pumpkin. They did have the owl on a skull last year, and I do own that one. However, I think the pumpkin just looks amazing. See if we can get it to it doesn't look like it's turning on with the LEDs, however, it's still great. And we do also have the Raven on the tombstone back there. This is another great one. I feel like their blow molds this year are a big step up. However, it doesn't appear that they do have any of like the big pumpkins that you would see. However, I was lucky enough to get one last year, so that's fine. They do also have this cat over here. Well, there you have it, the entire Home Depot Halloween 2026 in-store display in my local Home Depot. I will say the display looks really nice this year with all the animatronics lined up. They always do a phenomenal job when it does come to that. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on these down below, and anyway, make sure you remember that I'm a spirit keeper and I give you a reason for every season. Bye.